Hey guys, today gonna get a lot of work done. Here you see the finished project. We're stripping down the frame and getting it ready to go off to the sandblaster. In my previous video I posted a contest. If I can get up to 500 subscribers, we're gonna give away an M12 fuel ratchet. So please go to the previous video. I'll link it right up in here. And just all you gotta do is comment and subscribe. But for now, let's get to work. So I'm having a little issue getting these upper control arm mounts off. So we'll heat them up. Not going to cut them. Just heat up the nut. Alright, let's see what this will do now. Got it. That one's still being a little stubborn. Usually that heat will suck this stuff right into the threads. I'm going to pull out my air impact. Air compressor's not on. Alright, let it build up with air. My sandblaster wasn't working very well. That explains why I forgot to turn on my air compressor. I did get some brackets off the rear for the rear leaf spring mounts. I got those in the sandblaster. All this stuff, I'm going to take it to work, power wash it all, clean it up, because it wasn't a body shop, and most of this is just caked on body shop dust that's been sitting there for 30 years. So I don't want all that trash going in my sandblaster. And I'll probably also try to knock off some of the bigger stuff with a wire wheel. Just going to cut this brake line. That won't be any good. Alright, compressor just stopped. The trick. Alright, I got this side off. It was actually real easy. You had 4 nuts on those U-bolts that hold the lower control arm on, and then 2 up here for the upper control arm. Your shock mount, which I broke that, I gotta get a new one. And your sway bar link and your brake line, which if you got an old truck, cut it, replace the brake line. Don't screw around with disconnected it or trying to save it. If it's old, it's rotted, it'll break on you. Now, I think I'm going to take this frame, just get it sandblasted. It'll be a lot quicker, a lot easier. I'll remove the motor mounts so they can get in behind and get all this cleaned up. I don't think there's any real reason to take it apart. Let me show you a few other things I'm thinking about. Need to get a new shock mount. I just broke the end off of that. But like my exhaust hangers, Since I'm doing an LS, I'll probably have to do a somewhat custom exhaust, so I might just take those rivets, because those are on rivets on the other side of the frame. I'll probably just pop those off, sandblast them myself. I can bolt them back in. There's one in the middle, and then there's one right there on the back. And then probably this brake line mount. That's where the hard line meets the rubber line for the rear axle. I might just pop those rivets out, and I can bolt that back in. And then that transmission mount just on bolts. Other than that, I'll leave it like this and take it to the sandblaster. I used one of those fiber wheels on a 4.5 inch grinder and did that. Made a lot of dust, made a mess. This is the wheel I got from Eastwood. I also got one for my 7-inch grinder, but I think it'd be a pain to get the inside of the frame and all that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out to sandblasting. But I'm gonna get that other side off, and then the frame is almost complete. So I'm just gonna set you up. We'll do a really quick time lapse, get this apart. I failed to mention, you will also have some steering to deal with. I'm replacing all my inner and outer tie rods and everything, so I just cut them off with a torch. You can use a Sawzall, or you can try to save them if they're all right. But again, this thing's old, sat forever. A few bucks it costs to replace them. I'm just gonna replace them. I cut the spring. I just use a torch, cut the spring in there. Usually when you do it, you jack up the vehicle, put it on jack stands. You'll have a jack under here when you unbolt your knuckles. And then you can unbolt your ball joint and lower it down slowly to release the tension off here. I don't have enough weight in this vehicle with no motor, no nothing. So I just cut them. I cut one on this side, one on this side. Didn't film it because it's kind of sketchy. It could still pop out or whatever. These Flexilla large hole air fittings, high flow, are really nice. I like the swivel. I like the swivel on the end. I don't have it on all my tools, but I got a handful of them. And then this is just a push to connect. You don't have to pull it back or anything to connect it. Works good. All right, now I'm gonna get the sway bar, the plates right here, motor mount plates, transmission cross member, and this will be stripped down, and I'll do those exhaust hangers. Oh, sorry. Alright, my camera died, so I had to switch over to my phone. So the audio might be a little worse. exhaust hanger is out. Alright guys, the frame's pretty much stripped down. Got the 2 exhaust hangers. I think I'm just going to leave that for the brake lines. Only a couple things left. I got the shock mounts out on both sides. I'm going to get all these shims. I'm going to bag each side, passenger side front, passenger side rear, put them in bags. I'll sandblast them individually so I know what goes where, and I got to get the brake lines off on each side. And that is it. So, most likely I'm going to take this off to sandblasting soon. I'm going to finish stripping all these down. I'm going to take them to work and power wash them. Get them cleaned up before they go into my sandblaster. And I also got to strip down the rear. I'm going to take the spring packs completely apart. I'll put new bushings in them. I'll wire wheel them and paint the spring packs. And power wash the rear end and clean that up as well. Paint that. I'll probably do a disc brake conversion on the rear. And I'll have this back to a roller. So that's going to finish this episode today. A lot of work. I'm happy to have the frame stripped down. Next time you see the frame, hopefully it's getting loaded up to go get sandblasted and coming back good and clean, and we can paint it and start putting it back together.